everyone. So continuing with the previous video, in previous video I have already covered what is scope in JavaScript and why do we need scope. Now let's move to types of scope in JavaScript and what are its type. And after covering these, we will move to what is scope chain. So let's get started with the first one, global scope. In global scope, variables declared outside all functions and blocks belong to global scope. So that's the simple definition of global scope. How we will say global scope means variables declared outside all functions and blocks belong to global scope. Let's see an example to understand. Let me create a variable let username. Inside that, let's write user, and let's create a function. Inside the function name should be show, and let's console the username and let's call the username show. Okay, so here I have created a variable, that the variable name is username, and here I have created a function that the function name is show, and inside that function we are consoling username and here we are calling it. Okay, so let's understand that what global scope is and how we are able to access username inside this. Okay, so username, it can be accessed from anywhere. It can be accessed from anywhere and it can be accessed anywhere. Here I am accessing this username inside this function. So this username is globally accessible. Okay, I hope you are understanding that what global scope means. And if a variable is declared globally, so it can be accessible throughout the program in any part. Like if we can want to access in a function, we can access it, we can access it inside a block, we can access anywhere, wherever we want, if it's declared globally. So that's the global scope. Now let's move to function scope. Okay, what function scope is? Let me create a function name can be test. Now let's write let age is equal to 25 and let me console the age as age. Okay, and let's call the function. All right, here we can see that this age is existing inside this function only. So if I'm consoling this age inside this, okay, so this is perfectly fine. We will not see any issue. Let me explain the definition. Function scope. What function scope is? Variables declared inside a function. Variables declared inside a function can only be accessed inside that function only. Understood? That variables declared inside a function can be accessed inside that function only. So that is function scope. Okay, why we are able to get it here, and if I am trying to get it here, let's run it, then we will see the output. Here we are seeing that we are getting 25, but if I am trying to console it out here, we will not able to get it. It will throw us an error, that reference error, age is not defined. So I hope you understand that what function scope is. Now let's go with another one. We do have block scope. So what's the meaning of block scope? Firstly, let's understand the definition. Block scope means variables declared using latent const. Variables declared using latent const inside this block. This is called block. Okay, so that variables would be accessible inside this block only. Okay, latent const are block scope. So let's take an example to understand. Let a is equal to 10. Okay, and const b is equal to 20. All right, and if I am trying to console it out here, and if I am trying to console it out here also, so here inside this block it will work perfectly fine. Okay, and if I'm running it, I can see everything is working fine. Let's try to run it outside of this. So definitely this will throw us an error. Why? Because its accessibility is inside this block only. Okay, you can deep dive into let var const. I have already explained in video, so you can go through it. If you want, I can provide the link in the description below. Okay, we understood this also, like block scope thing also. Now let's go with last one. We are having lexical scope. So let's understand what lexical scope is. Firstly, I should tell the definition. Lexical scope basically means JavaScript is lexically scoped. Okay, scope is decided by, how the scope is decided? Scope is decided by where functions are written inside the code. Okay, so scope will be decided by where the functions are written inside the code. Understood? So let me write a function. The function name should be outer, and let me write a variable message is equal to hello. All right, and let me write another function. The another function name can be inner, and let me console what? Message. All right, and let me call this inner function here, and let me call this outer function here. All right, and let's run it. After running, we are seeing that we are seeing the output as hello. Why? Here inner function can access messages. Why it's able to access the message? Because it is physically written. It is physically written inside outer function. That's why we are able to get this output, and that's why we are able to access this value message inside this. So I hope you understand that what's the type of scope in JavaScript and what's its differences. Thank you.